All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So, in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
And I'm a serial pioneer. I started out at the age of 11 wanting to be a women's sports writer when there were no women's sports writer. And at the age of 22, I'd been at the Detroit Free Press, the Los Angeles Times, and the Washington Post. I went on to have one of the two largest sports special events and cable PR agencies in America. And then decided to write two personal growth books. By the way, my agency had a world-class client list. You would know all my clients. And so then I decided to write these two books that I was called to write. One became the best spiritual book of the year at the International New Age Trade Show. And from there, I transformed into serving those people who were making the world a better place. I started doing radio podcast tours, introducing authors, leaders, and experts to 9,000 podcast and radio shows with a minimum guarantee of 30 interviews. I still do that. But from there, I help them find speaking engagements by providing a directory of them. I sold that business that last June. And I've launched a brand new Historic Traveler, which is a blog and membership program for people who love history, travel, and historic novels, history, or historic mysteries, anything about historic reading. And what we do is we make it really, really compelling for people who are looking for whether it might be a diversion from today's crazy world, or they just love to get out and explore the world either from their armchair or from the real world. And so the Historic Traveler is my newest and last venture after so many that I have done.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
Well, the Historic Traveler actually includes photos that I have taken from 500 localities around the world, 50 countries, over the last decades. And I include some great storytelling, and I include the books that will make you feel as if you lived there. So first of all, it's the blog, and we encourage people to come to thehistorictraveler.com and just sign up so that they don't miss any of the blogs from all over the world. But then it goes a little bit deeper. If you love community, if you love being with people who love what you love, then the Historic Traveler is a great place for you. We have the world's largest directory of historic novels, mysteries, and history books, sorted by country or state or city. We also have the world's largest list of historic hotels. We have the world's first list of historic TV dramas and where you can see them. We have a 75-page magazine dedicated to destinations and all to media, books, and TV shows. We also have a community meeting where people get together once a month. We have a book club. We have a book swap. We have a travel matching program. We have travel discounts. And today it's hard to find a travel agent. We have a travel agent that'll do it for you at no cost to you. And more resources and a great photo gallery of images from around the world that you can download, you can put on your walls, you can turn into albums. And I'm going to be doing photo books with really cool themes that are just going to be fun to share around. So I encourage people to come on and investigate the Historic Traveler. It's really an opportunity. It's only $19 a month, which we want to make sure that everybody can afford to participate and meet the people that love what they do. I also have a free giveaway for people who love a guide that's called 20 International Cities where you can immerse yourself in history and the books that you can read to make you feel as if you were there. And you can get that by going to thehistorictraveler.com/guide. So that's what I'm excited about.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
So, I mentioned to you, I had one of the 2 largest sports special events PR agencies in America. And my client list included Toyota Motorsports and Top Rank Boxing and Showtime and the Travel Channel and the National Hockey League. And I can go on and on and on and on. But at some point, the media changed. We were big in sports trading cards, and the bottom dropped out of that market. And it wasn't any fun anymore. And we were also competing with the biggest PR agencies in the world that saw an opportunity in sports, and they wanted to basically eliminate the smaller players. And so, yes, I had the unfortunate opportunity of shutting down a 20-year agency that had done stellar work, including the first 4 LA marathons, for example. Just amazing work, award-winning work, great team, but we just couldn't sustain ourselves against what was going on. What did I learn? That life doesn't end when you have a failure, that you can find great silver linings, which is when I found a new way forward, a new path, and that people are always there to offer you a hand, to help you along the next level of your past. And most importantly, that stay in your integrity no matter what happens, and you'll be rescued. The universe has this amazing way to step forward and support you, even in the darkest times, if you stay on a path of integrity and positive intention.
That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
So joint venture partnerships is always a fabulous way. People that support you, cross-promote, have an opportunity to let you talk to their audience. I do a ton of podcasts. Obviously, that's my other business. I still stay in the podcast business. Certainly also we're starting online advertising, but we're doing massive social media, not just on our own social media sites, but participating in other people's groups, social media groups. And we are also looking at partners, sponsors, people who will deliver us to their list communities, as well as, just people that we know and that we reach out to. We've had some big lists in the past, and we've reached out to those lists by email. We email for us much of the time. But with Historic Traveler, it's new. We're also starting to do blog exchanges with other bloggers because they already have an audience that love travel, love historic novels, and love history. So we're doing a lot of that going forward.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes. What I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
Know that there is always a pathway forward. And don't get discouraged when you hit an obstacle. Look for mentors, coaches, people who can support you. Reach out and ask for help. Don't think you have to go it all alone. There are tremendous resources available for people who are just starting out. And I tried to do a lot of it on my own. That was challenging, but there was always somebody out there I could call and I'd say, okay, so what did you do in this circumstance? Or how would you do this? I joined organizations where there were other people who were a lot smarter than I was who would offer their guidance and support. Like when I had my PR agency, I was part of an international network of PR agencies. I belonged to masterminds. I've engaged coaching programs. So you don't have to go it alone. And even if you don't have a lot of money, join your local women's business group. You'll get a tremendous amount of support.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
Thank you, Shaahin. So again, you want to come to thehistorictraveler.com. You have to put the THE in the front. Thehistorictraveler.com. Sign up for the blog. You can reach me through that. You can also reach me at Jackie@thehistorictraveler.com. Take advantage of our free guide, thehistorictraveler.com/guide. And if you're called and you want to know more about the membership, there's a ton of stuff, including a tour on the website that'll tell you about how you can go deeper into your historic traveler experience and meet other people just like you. And don't forget, there's that incredible book directory if you love historic reading. So come visit us, meet with us, set up a meeting if you want to discuss things further. We would love to be a part of your journey going forward. We know this is not necessarily a business growth thing, but you got to have some balance in life. You got to turn off the business mind for a while. And this is the perfect way to do that. So come hang out with us.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, and this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.